Minneapolis, January 7th, 2026. 9:37 a.m. A residential street. Snow on the ground. Small houses with American flags. The kind of neighborhood where nothing ever happens. A maroon Honda Pilot sits sideways in the road. Engine running. Driver inside. 3 men in black masks walk toward the car. No police uniforms, no marked vehicles, just tactical vests and handguns. One of them circles behind the Honda, moves to the front left corner, pulls out his phone with one hand, keeps the other near his holster. His name is Jonathan Ross. He's 43 years old, ICE agent, veteran of Iraq, expert marksman. 6 months ago, a car nearly killed him. Someone yells,
"Get out of the car!"
The Honda doesn't move. Another agent grabs the driver's door handle. Locked. He pulls harder. Nothing. The Honda's engine revs. The car starts moving forward. Slowly. Ross draws his weapon. The wheels turn right. Away from him. The car is trying to go around. Ross fires through the windshield. First shot. 9:37:13 a.m. 399 milliseconds. Second shot. 299 milliseconds. Third shot. The Honda accelerates, passes Ross, crashes into a parked car 3 seconds later, rolls into the snow, stops. Inside the Honda, Renée Nicole Good, 37 years old, poet, mother of 3, American citizen. She's dead before the airbags deploy. Ross holsters his weapon, walks toward the wrecked car, tells someone to call 911. 3 shots, less than 1 second, 1 life gone. But here's what nobody knows yet. This isn't a story about a woman who died. This is a story about the man who pulled the trigger, and why he was standing in front of that car in the first place. Rewind 20 years. Indiana, early 2000s. Jonathan Ross is in his 20s. Working class kid, no college degree, limited options. He joins the Indiana Army National Guard, signs up for 6 years, gets assigned to Headquarters Company, 138th Signal Battalion. For 2 years, it's weekend drills and summer training, normal Guard stuff. Then everything changes. November 2004, Ross deploys to Iraq. His job, machine gunner on a combat logistics patrol team. Translation: he rides in convoys through the most dangerous roads on Earth, protecting supply trucks, watching for ambushes, shooting at anything that threatens the convoy. Every car on the road is a potential bomb. Every person on the sidewalk might have a weapon. Every shadow could hide a sniper. You learn to react fast. Hesitation gets people killed. Your friends, yourself. Ross spends 12 months in that world. 12 months of hypervigilance. 12 months of split-second decisions. November 2005. He comes home. Whatever he saw in Iraq, he carries with him. The training stays. The instincts stay. The way you look at a vehicle approaching too fast. The way your hand moves to your weapon before your brain catches up. Ross doesn't talk about Iraq much, but he decides to keep serving. Different uniform, same mission. He joins U.S. Customs and Border Protection. Works the border for years. Then transfers to Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE. By 2016, he's at the St. Paul field office in Minnesota, arresting people who are in the country illegally, conducting traffic stops, executing warrants. He's good at his job, gets selected for ICE's Special Response Team, elite unit, 30-hour tryout to qualify, training in breaching, hostage rescue, firearms. His supervisors call him an expert marksman, a professional who follows his training. By 2025, Ross has conducted hundreds of traffic stops, hundreds of arrests. He knows the patterns, the way people act when they're about to run, the sudden movements, the erratic behavior. He also knows what can happen when things go wrong. And on June 17th, 2025, he finds out exactly how wrong things can go. I need to tell you about something that happened 6 months earlier. Something that changes everything about this story. Because when Jonathan Ross pulled that trigger in January 2026, he wasn't just reacting to Renée Good. He was reacting to a memory. June 17th, 2025. Bloomington, Minnesota. Ross gets a case file. Roberto Carlos Muñoz, Guatemala. 39 years old. Mexican citizen. But that's not why ICE wants him. Muñoz, Guatemala had a criminal record. Serious charges. He did his time in prison. Now he's supposed to be deported. But he's been hiding for months. Ross's team gets a tip. They know where he lives. They know his car. This should be simple. The plan. Follow him from his house. Wait until he's on a quiet street. Box him in. Make the arrest. Ross has done this hundreds of times. June 17th, late afternoon. The team watches Muñoz, Guatemala leave his house. He gets in his car, starts driving. They follow. 3 vehicles, Ross in the lead. Muñoz, Guatemala turns onto a residential street. Quiet. Few cars. Ross makes his move. He pulls his vehicle diagonally in front. Blocks the road. Forces him to stop. It works. The car stops. Ross and an FBI agent jump out. Guns drawn.
Police, show me your hands.
Muñoz, Guatemala raises his hands. Surrender position. This is going by the book. Ross holsters his weapon, approaches the driver's window.
Put the car in park.
Nothing. Engine still running.
Roll down your window.
The window opens 2 inches, maybe 3.
All the way.
Nothing.
Roll it down or I break it.
Nothing. Ross pulls out his window punch, shatters the rear window, reaches his arm inside to unlock the door. His arm is inside up to his elbow, and then Muñoz, Guatemala hits the gas. The car lurches forward. Ross tries to pull free. He can't. The broken glass is gripping his sleeve, his skin. The car accelerates, jumps the curb, speeds across someone's lawn. Ross is running alongside the car. Then he's not running. He's being dragged, his arm trapped, his body slamming against the door. Again. He fires his taser with his free hand once, twice. The driver doesn't stop. The car swerves left. Ross's body swings wide, swerves right, trying to throw him under the wheels. 30 miles per hour, 40, 100 yards. Ross breaks free, hits the asphalt, rolls, stops. The car speeds away. Ross looks at his arm, deep gash, blood everywhere. An FBI agent runs over, applies a tourniquet, 20 stitches in his right arm, 13 in his left hand. Later, when Ross testifies in court, the prosecutor will ask how he felt when the car started dragging him. Ross will look at the jury.
I was fearing for my life.
4 words. Remember them. The car that dragged Ross didn't get far. Police found Muñoz, Guatemala 20 minutes later, hiding in a parking garage with the taser wires still hanging from his window. He was arrested on the spot and charged with assault on a federal officer with a dangerous weapon. His lawyers tried to negotiate a plea deal. Muñoz, Guatemala refused. He wanted to fight the charges in court. That was a mistake. December 2025, federal courthouse in Minneapolis. Ross walks into the courtroom in a suit. His arm has healed, but the scars are still visible. He takes the stand and describes that day in detail. The traffic stop, the broken window, the moment his arm got trapped and the car started accelerating. The prosecutors have evidence. A neighbor's doorbell camera caught the whole thing. They play the video for the jury. 12 people watch Jonathan Ross being dragged across a suburban lawn. They watch his body slam against the car door. They watch the vehicle swerve left and right, trying to throw him under the wheels. The prosecutors play it twice. Muñoz, Guatemala's defense is simple. He says he didn't know Ross was a police officer. No uniform, no marked car, just a stranger breaking his window and reaching inside. He says he panicked. He says he was scared. The jury deliberates for 2 hours. Guilty on all counts. Muñoz, Guatemala faces up to 20 years in federal prison. Sentencing is scheduled for later. For Jonathan Ross, this is vindication. He did everything right. He followed his training. He nearly died doing his job. and now the system has delivered justice. He goes home a hero. His colleagues congratulate him. His family is proud. Christmas 2025. Ross celebrates with his wife and kids. Good food. Presents under the tree. The nightmare of June is finally behind him. New Year's Eve. Fireworks. Champagne. A fresh start. January 6th, 2026. Ross is scheduled to return to duty. The biggest operation of his career is waiting for him. 2,000 federal agents descending on Minneapolis. But he doesn't know yet what this operation will cost him. He doesn't know that in 48 hours, everything will fall apart. January 6th, 2026. Department of Homeland Security announces the largest immigration operation in American history. 2,000 agents. Minneapolis, St. Paul. Biggest deployment ever. Official reason? Fraud investigation. Somali-run daycare centers allegedly stole millions. Agents flood the streets. Checkpoints. Raids. Arrests. Jonathan Ross is part of it. Special Response Team. Elite Unit. January 7th. Day 2. Ross and his team work South Minneapolis. Central neighborhood. Few blocks from where George Floyd died. The community is terrified. Immigrant families are hiding in their homes. Parents are afraid to take their children to school. Nobody knows who ICE will come for next. But some people refuse to stay silent. Protesters follow ICE vehicles all morning, whistling, filming, warning potential targets. They call themselves community observers. Their job is simple: watch the agents, document everything, and alert neighbors when ICE is nearby. One of them is a 37-year-old woman named Renée Nicole Good, American citizen, poet, mother of 3. That morning, Renée dropped her 6-year-old son at school. Then she drove to the neighborhood where ICE was operating. She wasn't there to fight. She wasn't there to block anyone. She brought a whistle and a phone. That's it. Her wife Becca was nearby, doing the same thing, watching, filming, protecting their neighbors the only way they knew how. Renée is sitting in her maroon Honda Pilot, engine running, watching the street. She has no idea that in a few minutes she will be dead. 9:34 a.m., Portland Avenue. Now you understand who Jonathan Ross is. A soldier, a survivor, a man who was dragged by a car 6 months ago and still carries those scars. And now he's here, on a residential street in South Minneapolis, walking toward another car that won't cooperate. A maroon Honda Pilot is blocking one lane of traffic. Inside, Renée Good, windows up, watching the street. Her wife Becca is nearby, filming. Ross and 3 other agents approach the Honda. No uniforms, no marked vehicles, just masked men in tactical gear. Nobody says police, nobody says ICE. Ross circles behind the Honda, moves to the front left corner, phone in one hand, the other near his weapon. Another agent grabs the door handle. Locked. He pulls harder. Get out of the car. Renée doesn't move. The Honda's engine revs. The car starts moving forward. Slowly. The wheels turn right, away from Ross. She's trying to go around. But Ross doesn't see a woman trying to leave. He sees a car. Moving. Him in front of it. Just like 6 months ago. He draws his weapon. First shot. Through the windshield. 399 milliseconds. Second shot. 299 milliseconds. Third shot. The Honda accelerates past him. Ross stumbles but stays on his feet. The car crashes into a parked vehicle, rolls into the snow, stops. Renée Good is slumped over the steering wheel. Dead. Within hours, America splits in two. Washington chooses its side first. DHS Secretary Kristi Noem holds a press conference. She calls Renée Good a domestic terrorist who weaponized her vehicle against federal officers. Vice President J.D. Vance goes further. He brings up what happened to Ross 6 months earlier. That very ICE officer nearly had his life ended 6 months ago, dragged by a car, 30 stitches. You think maybe he's a little bit sensitive about somebody ramming him? Think about that statement for a second. The Vice President of the United States just admitted that this agent might have been triggered by past trauma. That he might have reacted not to what was happening, but to what happened before. Is that a defense, or is that an admission? So here's what we know. Jonathan Ross was dragged by a car 6 months before this shooting. He got 33 stitches. He testified in court that he feared for his life. 3 weeks later, he was back on duty, and then he encountered another car that wouldn't stop. Did his training kick in, or did his trauma? The videos show the wheels turned right, away from him. The car was trying to go around, not through. Ross fired 3 shots in less than a second. He wasn't knocked down. He wasn't run over. He stayed on his feet as the car passed him. Maybe Jonathan Ross really believed his life was in danger in that moment. Maybe in his mind, he was back on that suburban lawn in June, being dragged toward death. But Renée Good wasn't Roberto Carlos Muñoz Guatemala. She was a poet, a mother, an American citizen with a whistle and a phone. She was trying to drive away, and now she's dead. Does trauma explain what happened? Probably. Does trauma excuse it? That's for a jury to decide. But here's what we know for certain. When you give a man a gun and a badge, you're trusting him to know the difference between a threat and a woman trying to leave. 399 milliseconds. That's how long it takes to fire 3 bullets. That's how long it takes to end a life. That's how long it takes to become the thing you were afraid of.